Gabriel, District Judge here in Emmaus, and I'm honored to be here to swear in our new mayor first, and then we will swear in the new members of Borough Council. So, future mayor, if you would raise your right hand, please, and affirm this oath. I speak your name.
I, Lee Gilbert,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America
the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
for the Borough of Emmaus, Pennsylvania,
for the Borough of Emmaus, Pennsylvania,
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations, Mayor. And now, I will call all the new officers, whether re-elected or newly elected, to come up, and I will have you face the crowd, and I will stand off to the side. And if you would raise your right hand, please, to be sworn. I speak your name.
I, Fred Ladenburg,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America
the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
for the Borough of Emmaus, Pennsylvania,
for the Borough of Emmaus, Pennsylvania,
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
May I congratulate you all. Sign these.
Oh, this is,
Did you get a good picture? Now you can do it.
No? You don't want to do?
I had, thank you.
Should we do,
Group picture, yeah,
let's do a group picture.
Can we do, council with our first female mayor, please?
You guys want to wait until your new people?
Well, no, we can do one then too.
You should be in the middle.
Hey!
I don't want to make any brown from
The lens cover's on
I
it.
see where this picture's going.
Oh,
This is
crap,
the
I just
cover of the
realized.
budget.
You'll see.
Really? Yeah, I tried to go. See, now you know your husband, but he ran out the door.
Oh, he left already? Oh, he's a smart man.
My wife got out here, she didn't think that's the practice.
Oh.
I said, Rod.
No, I don't know what you can stand.
Another 4 years.
I said, like I said before, stay in line, take a name of the street after me, and Shane said, oh, we can arrange that.
Shane, do you keep those? Those,
Well, let's do it
Yeah, I
under.
need,
you really should have them.
well, when she's done with it, my take.
Okay.
She'll give it. Yeah, we have to notarize that.
Do that.
Did you take mine? My presidency one? I signed it. Did you take it?
Meeting in the next 2 years.
At least 2 meet, one.
Shannon, did you fill out your residency paper yet?
I signed it.
Unless they don't pull it. Maybe give it.
And I accidentally signed Leanne's.
All right, we have a new mayor.
No.
Oh.
I accidentally signed yours.
Okay.
Of which one?
My residency
The
requirement.
residency.
That's okay, we have,
You have another one?
Okay,
so I'll take,
those are all signed.
those are on the oath.
All the others. Okay.
So I just wrote that one out. That one.
I just get overzealous signing.
Committee reports as well.
Hey, Brendan, do you have your residency affidavit? If you could sign this
Sign
one
it.
for me.
Is it here?
You probably have one there.
Resolution.
No, right here. This is fine.
Judge Butler,
Yes,
you were just recently sworn in for your next term, is that
I was.
correct? And this makes how many terms now for you?
this is my 4th full term. I was actually appointed first back in '97. So this is now my 21st year of serving this illustrious borough.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you.
And congratulations to you. Thank you.
So number 6.
Do you have my signed oath, right?
Yep, you're good to go.
Okay, all right. Everybody ready? I'd like to call the January 2nd Emmaus Borough Council meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the
republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
7:10.
17.
Yeah, 7:10. All right, in attendance this evening, we have Councilman Anders, Councilman Shubsta, Councilwoman Baumgartner, welcome, Councilman Dufresne, and Councilman Labenberg. The first order of businesses this evening is to select a president and vice president for council for this term. I would now open the floor to nominations. Any member of council would like to nominate Mr. Anders?
Yes, I would like to nominate Brent Labenberg for president.
Any other nominations? Hearing none, motion to close the nominations? Motion by Mr. Dufresne. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Shubsta. Discussion? All those in favor? Say aye. We have 5 ayes. Now we need to vote. All those in favor of Mr. Labenberg as your council president, say aye.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes. Now I'd like to open the nomination for vice president. Is there a nomination for vice president? Mr. Labenberg.
Councilman Dufresne?
Mr. Labenberg nominates Mr. Dufresne. Is there any further nominations? At this time, I'd like a motion to close the nominations. Is there a motion to do so? Motion by Mr. Anders. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Labenberg. Discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Very good. 5 ayes. Now we need to vote. All those in favor of Mr. Dufresne as your vice president, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes. My business is finished. Mr. Labenberg, you may now take your seat.
You can move your nameplate.
Yep.
It's not a good time right now. Well, it's not.
Good job.
It's almost like you've been through this before.
Yeah, thank you.
Mrs. Mayor, good job.
I had sauerkraut the last 2 days.
Yeah, so did I, so deal with it.
You want your nameplate? You got it. You got it.
He has his tissues for crying.
Three, 4, 5, still haven't voted, okay.
Oh, data box.
Look at that, I'm keeping this because that's from like 1952. It has a date on it.
That should be at the Historical Society.
I guess I can.
All right.
At this time, I'd like to call for personal appeals, part 1. If you have a personal appeal, please sign in, state your name and where you're from, and what your appeal is. You have 5 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. John Hayes, Nutropoli Bank, here today with Dave Hunsaker, our bank's president, CEO, and chair of the board. First and foremost, congratulations to all the newly elected. Very happy to see you, and to those who are continuing to serve, I want to thank you as well. As we talked at the last council meeting, the work you do is often thankless, and wanted to just say thank you. And Brent, I have to mention 240 days till Hornet football. I had to work that in.
I'm covering it with basketball right now, so.
Okay, fair enough. Wanted to update everyone on our building project on Buckeye Road and talked about a couple of other things as well. We had the official groundbreaking coming up on January 9th at 11:30. All of you should have received invitations by now. If you haven't, please consider yourself invited. We'd love to have you there. Yes, it's located in Upper Milford, not in Emmaus, but it is a very central location that we plan on serving all of southwestern Lehigh County, very much so including the borough of Emmaus. So we'd like to invite you all, and we hope that you're able to make it as well. We've got a fairly substantial building project that we're taking on. The building's going to be over 15,000 square feet, 2 floors plus a lower level. The lower level will be used for community meeting space as well as bank employee training space. We'll have our branch on the first floor and lending and wealth management services on the second floor. So we really are not just coming in with a small building and hopefully pick up a little bit of business, making a fairly substantial commitment to the community. The communities really, they comprise a great area of the Lehigh Valley and one that we hope to serve for many decades to come. Dave, you wanted to talk a little bit about the bank and our commitment?
Yes, thank you, John, and also I want to echo what John said. Congratulations to all the people that got reelected, and I got to meet the new mayor. And I'm a Northwestern boy, so I'm black and gold from Nutropoli, but John is Hornet Green.
I get booed when I talk about the Hornets up north, so feel free.
But we're very happy, on behalf of the board, we're very happy of moving into the Emmaus-Macungie area. I mean, I've been with the bank 45 years. And it's only been recently that we decided that we needed to branch out. And when I was looking to branch out, one of the things that's most important to me is that I want to put a branch, actually this is more like a building than a branch. I want to go into a community where we can do things for the community. We have done a lot of nice things for Nutropoli in the Northwestern area, and we're looking to continue that trend down here in the Emmaus area and also Macungie and the surrounding townships. In fact, I looked at my year-end numbers today. I mean, Nutropoli is closing in on $500 million in assets, and we make roughly $5 million a year. And we gave back last year $300,000 in the Northwestern community. In fact, at year-end, we did 17 donations to various fire companies, ambulance corps, historical societies. I've got one behind me here. So to me, that's what makes a community. And I'm very looking forward to seeing all of you as Nutropoli Bank comes down in this area. And ever have any questions, just let John and I know. And John knows this area. He's an Emmaus boy. And he was part of the East End Bank that was here. And unfortunately, they only lasted about 20 years and left.
About 15.
15? Well, we're working on 110 right now. So I think we got it pretty well knowing how to stay independent. And one of the ways you stay independent is control the shares, and we control our shares. In fact, I have 3 board members that their families go back to 1910. And then the other 3 people on my board have either been like myself, a CEO, or their father was a CEO. So we had deep roots into keeping that independence vein going. So I know you're busy, just 2 more things. I could talk about Nutropoli all night. But the 2 questions I get asked the most is, are you going to be around for a long time? Absolutely, we're going to be around for a long time. And the second question I get is, what are you going to name the bank? That's to be determined. So thank you again.
Yep, thank you very much. Just wanted to touch base on what David said to wrap up. The contributions that we made in Emmaus over the last year, we've done a lot of support for EYA. Roy and I have worked on a number of projects there, and we're continuing to talk. We've made charitable contributions to the fire company, to the EMS service, the Emmaus Historical Society, and the Bethel Church Food Bank. Those checks went out last Friday. There are needs to be met, and we want to try to do everything we can to help meet those needs. We take that community support very seriously. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to give either one of us a call, and we hope to see all of you at the groundbreaking next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public appeals? Hearing none, we'll move on to community minute. Anybody have something to bring forward?
Just a phone call did go out this evening, just a reminder that the trash does get picked up on Thursday morning.
Thursday morning, yeah.
Also, just a reminder, Christmas trees, if they're out at the curb, please make sure the bags are off of them. The crew will be coming around for the picking up of the Christmas trees over this next week. Progress.
Thank you. We have no special presentations. Reading of the minutes. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve the December 16th, 2017 council meeting minutes? Councilman Dufresne, seconded by Councilman Anders. Any questions or discussion on the minutes or corrections? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Abstain.
I wasn't here.
Councilwoman Gombarner?
See, 1 for 2 now.
It'd take me about 2 months to get that one down. Couldn't be 2 syllables, huh? All right. You'll have to fill out a little sheet then. We'll get you after the
They're right up
meeting.
here.
We'll get you after the meeting. Decisions on bids. We have one, which is the Emmaus Public Library addition. If you hit your tab, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 attachments in your iPad with regards to the Emmaus Public Library addition. At that, I'll turn it over to,
You want me to take care of it?
Yep.
All right.
Shane will take over.
You have a memorandum that takes those 11 attachments and
Thank you.
puts them into a couple pages. It's sitting on your desks. So, as I told you the other day, and as you see in your iPads, there were numerous bids all the way around for each of the professional services for the library edition. What I need from you tonight is would be 4 different motions. One for the general contractor, one for the electrical contractor, one for the HVAC and mechanical, and then one for the plumbing contractor.
Okay.
So in your memorandum, which is start with the general contractor, what I need is a motion to appoint CMG of Easton Incorporated with including their base bid, alternate 2, alternate 3, alternate 4, alternate 7, alternate 12, alternate 14, alternate 15, and alternate 16, with a total bid cost of $1,019,250.
Would somebody like to make the motion to approve CMG of Easton? Councilman Dufresne, seconded by Councilman Shubsta. Any questions, discussion? Councilman Anders?
I have one issue with the bid of alternate, I believe 12 was part of that, Shane?
Correct.
To replace the manual window shades with motorized window shades, when it's a tough budget for them, I just don't understand the need for that, and I would prefer that they discuss that issue and maybe look at consolidating that out of their bid.
So, Mr. Anders, I agree with that. I spoke with them about that when we did the bid, when we had the meeting with the contractor as well as the architect. They have a different opinion as to why they want that. Quite honestly, I'm not, like, if they had the money to cover it, I mean, it's, at the end of the day, they're gonna be responsible for this. You know, they are taking out, I mean, the rest of the alternates, with the exception of that alternate, the rest of them are all subtractions. I mean, the original base bid is $1,040,000. So with those alternates, they do take out about $21,000. So I can't, like, at this point, we can't go back and say let's hold off. They have to start construction by March 1st.
I understand, and I just want to put it on record that I feel that that's an unnecessary item that, you know, $8,700 plus then the electrical, which is in the other bid, you know, it's approximately $12,000 when I know that their budget is tight. That's just my objection. I'm not gonna say throwing out the whole bid, but I just want it on record as I feel
No,
that that's.
and I appreciate that, and I agree with you. I think at the end of the day, there are going to be change orders with this project, because I do believe that, well, you'll see in your iPads a letter from the contractor that would be the lowest bidder, suggesting a number of change orders that their engineers have to consider, and that may be one of them that they're going to have to consider.
Right.
So,
Very good, thank you.
Anybody else? Councilman Dufresne?
So to follow up with what you said, Shane, about the change orders, so worst case scenario here, they can't get this down to the right price, let's just say, and they can't afford it at the end of the day. What happens?
hand the grant back, and they don't do the
So
project.
the borough wouldn't be on the hook if they couldn't get change orders to put it down.
So it's first of all, it's a reimbursement grant.
Mhm.
So we did not get handed the 500,000, which is
Okay,
kind of the saving grace here. For them to get reimbursed, it's a dollar for dollar match. So, they're only going to get reimbursed, essentially what they put into it. It's a 50-50 match,
so let's just say their budget, just throw out a number, their budget allows for 500,000, let's just play devil's advocate here. So they would only get 500,000 from the grant then?
it'd be 500,000 from the grant and then 500,000 of their own money.
Right, okay,
Correct.
but that wouldn't cover these costs.
No, so,
We wouldn't
and
be
that's,
on the hook for that,
well, no,
Okay.
because it's a reimbursement.
okay?
What they need to do, though, is they need to get it down to where, if they have to strip this project down through change orders, that's what they're gonna have to do.
Okay,
And that was really their feeling when I met with the architect and their board members.
but there's no way that this could come back to the borough that we owe an extra 75,000 because they couldn't get it down.
Well, I guess when you say no way, I can't say that.
You're right.
Because at the end of the day, if they file for reimbursements and they get audited and they get burned in an audit for some reason, and which is why I'm managing the grant part of this, then could we be financially liable? The answer is yes.
Okay,
Can we
but
start selling books or computers or, what's the
From what I read
recourse?
though in the packet here, there does seem to be savings in here from some of the
Yeah, so,
letters that they can get to this.
they have to have their engineer revisit
Mhm.
a number of things because the contractor suggested. Even the type of flooring to build up because they have to build. The reason the cost is so much. We talked about this at the last council meeting, was because of all the concrete that they have to do. Well, the contractor feels that they can put a different kind of subfloor in and make it a little bit different, and which could save them upwards of $100,000. But there's a couple factors there. A, it has to be in compliance with the floodplain and DEP and EPA. B, it has to be in compliance with the grant requirements. And what kind of change orders are they allowed to do to keep them in compliance with the grant? And C, you have to look at all the bid documents, the bid contracts, which is what our legal counsel will have to do with me when they start looking at those change orders to make sure that they can actually legally do the change order. This is one of those grants, with the Main Street Partners grant that we did, the nice thing was, my hands were off of it until it came time to get them their money. With this one, this one's more of a hands-on. We kind of warned you guys that was probably gonna be the case, just to make sure that we're watching this one and making sure that they're okay, throughout the process, so. And that's where we are with it.
And you feel relatively comfortable.
Relatively is such a relative word.
Okay,
I feel as comfortable as I can with the fact that they have to start by March 1st. Otherwise, the project is dead.
but most change orders add to the construction costs.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
I'm going to support this with the thought that they're going to make some changes to lower the cost because they have to.
Absolutely.
They have to. So, with that being said, anybody else have a comment, question? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 5 ayes.
All right, the second part of it is for the electrical contractor. I would ask that you make the motion for Spots Brothers Incorporated. They were the lowest bidder. Their original base bid was $92,100. However, we took alternates 1, 3, and 5. which brought the price tag down to $75,250. So I would ask for that to be in motion.
Councilman Dufresne makes the motion, second by Councilman Schubsta. Questions or discussion?
Just
Councilman
as-
Anders.
As previously stated, I think alternate 5, which goes in conjunction with the previous alternate, I object to, but I'll still support the project in whole.
Shane, we knew where the general contractor was from. Where is the electrical contractor from? Do you know?
You know what, it's in their
paper. Let me,
it's in their bid.
hold on.
They are from Schuylkill Haven.
Okay. Why is this not? How do I get rid of
Yeah, it's
this?
Schuylkill Haven.
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna ask you. Shane, what the hell's going
Your
on?
back button.
Oh, you killed it.
You broke it.
Oh, here, this is canceled.
Why is it in Russian?
Yeah, I don't know what you did there. There you go.
Thank you.
I moved it over to Japanese. Hopefully you're better with that.
All right, any other questions or discussion with the electrical contractor? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 5 ayes.
Okay. The mechanical HVAC bid, the low bidder was JBM Mechanical. Their base bid was $69,500. We took alternate 1, which reduced the bid down to $63,000. So I would ask that you make a motion to award JBM.
Yes, mechanical.
Mechanical for $63,000.
Make a motion.
Councilman Dufresne, second by Councilwoman Gombarder.
Shanna.
It's Baumgartner.
Baumgartner.
Yes.
What did I say?
We won't repeat it.
I'll have to watch the video.
Bum and Garden.
Write that down for me. All right, we have the plumbing contractor yet.
The vote.
Yeah, we need to vote on the HVAC first.
All right, any comments on the JBM Mechanical? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 5 ayes.
Okay, the last bid was for plumbing. The lowest bidder was John G. Membrino. Base bid was $21,985 with no alternates. So I would ask for a motion to approve John G. Membrino for $21,985.
Somebody like to make the motion? Councilman Dufresne, second by
I'll second.
Councilwoman Baumgartner.
Give you more practice.
Say it right.
Any questions or discussion? Councilman
Go
Schubsta?
ahead.
Yeah. I'm just curious, the bid is significant lower than several of the others.
Yes.
So the question has to be why, and, what did they come up with that's so much different?
So, and good question, because I had mentioned that again, I mentioned that at the last council meeting to you, that at least one of these bids were so far off that, when everybody else is in the 40s and 50s, you have to ask why somebody is at $21,000. So the architects from Spillman Farmer vetted each of these bidders, and I asked again when I met with them the other day, "Are you sure that this is accurate?" He had informed me. He was positive. He met with the owner of Membrino's, and the owner was actually kind of quite disappointed in himself that his bid wasn't higher because he did hit everything according to him. So that was one of those where he was trying to be aggressive. At least that's what he tells us. Now we've come across bids like that in the past. He's held to it unless he withdraws his bid, which he's not doing.
Has he ever done business in the borough before?
I don't know that answer.
Okay.
Not with us in the time that I've been here. I
That's
know
what I
that.
mean. Okay.
My understanding is John G. Membrino, though, is a pretty decent sized company.
I did some research on him. I couldn't get any information on it, and I
I'll
could
put
not
this one.
find any information that he was a plumber. He was
No,
a
he's a contractor.
Right. This is a
Which-
plumbing contract, though. So I'm going to vote against him,
Understood.
just on that information.
Anybody else? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no.
No.
4 ayes and 1 no. Councilman Schubsta, is the no vote. That's it on the,
That's it.
that takes care of the library edition. Communications, we have none. We did receive an email with regard to a trash pickup. I don't know if you want to enter that into the record or not, but,
No, I mean, I'm,
but we get a lot of those.
Every day.
So, Borough Engineers Report, we have none. Solicitors Report.
Very briefly, I have to meet with the city of Allentown to get ready to go in front of EPA on this water issue. So Brad Youst, Shane, and I are going to get together for a pre-meeting, and then we will map out a game plan as to how we're going to proceed. The other major matter is I have an ongoing police grievance. It's showing up in the bills, so I want you to know about it. We've already had a fairly extensive first hearing. They now want me to write a brief. I talked to Pat Harvey about it. He requested that I do the brief, so I will be doing that. And that's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you. Unfinished business, part 1, new business, and unfinished business, part 2. We have nothing on the agenda. Does anybody have items not on the agenda to bring forward? Hearing none. Mayor's report.
I have nothing for official action, no nothing.
I just would like to officially congratulate you and first female council president, now first female mayor. What can you follow that up with?
Retirement.
Retirement.
Thank you.
Progress?
I have nothing, progress.
All right, committee reports. We have no committee chairman because we are a new council, but we do have stuff on the agenda to attend to. Public Works, there is nothing. Health, Sanitation, and Codes. We have the 2018 service agreement with Codemaster Inspection Services. Shane, do you want to fill us in on that?
So Codemaster, every year, we do a new service agreement with them. Their fees do not change. They are our third-party inspection service. They do a lot of our commercial inspections. Mr. Farnsworth does all of our residential. When Mr. Farnsworth is on vacation, Codemaster takes care of those inspections as well. But they do most of our commercial work for us.
Thank you. So is there a motion to approve Codemaster Inspection Services? Councilman Shipsta, second by Councilman Anders. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. There are 5 ayes. Moving on to reappointment of the Zoning Hearing Board, Don Nickerson with a term expiring January 1st of 2021. Would somebody like to make a motion to reappoint Don Nickerson? Councilman Shipsta, seconded by Councilman Dufresne. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 5 ayes. We have another reappointment to the Building Board of Appeals, Todd Laudenschlager, with a term expiring January 1st of 2023. That sounds so far away. Would somebody like to make a motion to reappoint Todd Laudenschlager? Councilman Shipsta, seconded by
Second.
Councilman Dufresne. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 5 ayes. That takes care of health, sanitation, and codes. For Parks and Recreation, we need to appoint Barry Isett and Associates for grant application.
Yeah, so as you're aware, and we turned down that study grant a number of years ago, which was for budgetary reasons. However, as we talked through the budget process this year, we were going to apply for this grant again. Barry Eisen and Associates actually prepared that grant for us for free. They're offering to do that again at no charge.
Nice.
Every one of their applications last year was awarded. So they have very talented grant writers on staff. No obligation to us, obviously. They want to crack at bidding on it if we do get awarded a study grant. But it's the same thing as before. They will do the bulk of the writing, which saves me. This is one of those grants, and I told you as we were kind of looking at this, This grant in particular probably is about 2.5 months of solid work. So it's going to be 2.5 months that I don't have to spend writing a grant. I would ask that you appoint them, especially since the cost is zero for them to do the work for us.
All right, would somebody like to make a motion to appoint Barry Isett and Associates? Councilman Anders, seconded by Councilwoman Baumgartner. Did I get it right that time? All right. Any questions or discussion? Councilman Anders.
Just besides Shane's time, as many people have alluded to, we do have parks that could use new equipment that have deteriorated, and this will give us a stepping stone to hopefully getting a grant to get new equipment and fix up some of the parks. So it's a really a good win-win for the residents and no cost to get started.
Well, and the nice thing about this grant process is it's not a, if you get the grant, it's a very community-based process to study it. So there will be focus groups, like it'll be a community-wide effort as far as what the study entails. It's also an 18-month process, just for the study grant itself. So it's not one of these things where we're going to apply and we're going to know in 6 weeks. As a matter of fact, the application period is in February, March. They just awarded the last study grants right before Christmas. So you're talking about 9-10 months of waiting to find out if you even get it. Okay.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. There are 5 ayes. That takes us to public safety. We have a reappointment to the Civil Service Commission, Darrell Wentz, with a new term expiring January 1st of 2024. Would somebody like to make the motion? Councilman Dufresne, second by Councilman Schubsta. Questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 5 ayes. That leads us to General Administration Committee, Resolution 2018-1, which is 2018 appointments, which is a long list, which I will try to get through. Be it hereby resolved by Emmaus Borough Council to appoint the following officials to their designated positions for a term expiring on January 2nd, 2019. Ambulance Corps Chief Jeffrey Hoffman, Animal Control Officer Alan Lewis, Borough Manager/Secretary Shane Pepe, Borough Solicitor Dimmick Dinkellocker and Annawalt, Director of Finance Treasurer Christine Snyder, Certified Public Accountant France Anderson Basayo and Company, Civil Service Commission Solicitor Davison and McCarthy, Code Enforcement Officer/Public Works Inspector James Farnsworth, Earned Income and Local Services Tax Office A.J. Berkheimer, Emergency Management Coordinator James Kripp, Engineer for General Water and Sewer Hanover Engineering, Fire Chief/Director of Emergency Services John Price, Fire Inspector Danielle Sell, Health Officer Gary Ritter, Pension Consultant for Police and Non-Uniform Mock and Hopt Benefits Group, Per Capita Tax Office H.A. Berkheimer, Police Chief Charles Palmer, Public Works Director John Daishala, Sewage Enforcement Officers Jacob A. Schrey, Gregory Gray, Christopher Taylor, Special Labor Counsel Campbell, Durant, Beatty, Palumbo, and Miller, Weed/Snow Enforcement Officer Paula Weant, Zoning Hearing Board Solicitor Ronald Corkery. Would somebody like to make a motion to pass Resolution 2018-1, our first one? Councilman Anders, second. Councilman Schubsta, any questions or discussion on our list? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. There are 5 ayes. We have appointments to the 2018 Employee and Volunteer Safety Committee members. Administration is Shane Pepe. Term begins. Term began March 6, 2012. Term expires infinite. Retirement. Codes, Zoning, Jim Farnsworth. term began 3/6/12, also infinite for term expires. Police, Todd Garloff, term began 1/1/17, term expires 12/31/18. Fire, John Price, term began 1/1/17, term expires 12/31/18. Ambulance, Justin Heyman, term began 1/1/18, term expires 12/31/19. Public Works, Troy Bauer, term began 1/1/18, term expires 12/31/19. Clerical, Teresa Pullman, term began 1/1/18, term expires 12/31/19. So it looks like we have 3 new members that are being rotated in. We try to rotate, I think we have to do it by.
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years, we rotate new members in there,
Except for Jim and I were lifers.
except for you two, yes. So would somebody like to make a motion to approve the Safety and Volunteer Safety, Employee and Volunteer Safety Committee? Councilman Dufresne, seconded by Councilman Schubsta. All those, questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 5 ayes. Next is Cave Brewing Company conditional use decision. We have 6 tabs on this. You want to fill us in on this? Oh, we're going to turn it over to the solicitor.
This was the brewery application for a conditional use that you heard 2 meetings ago. You already approved it. This has now been reduced to writing, and we're going to make it part of the minutes, so this is merely a formality. If you would approve it, we'll get it out right away and make it part of the record.
So would somebody like to make a motion to approve the Cave Brewing Company conditional use decision? Councilman Schubsta, seconded by Councilman Anders. Questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 5 ayes. Reappointment to the Vacancy Board, John Stover Jr. New term expires January 1st, 2019. Would somebody like to make a motion to reappoint John Stover? Councilman Dufresne, seconded by Councilwoman Baumgartner. Any questions or discussion? John Stover's been our reappointment to the Vacancy Board for quite a while. I don't think anyone ever applied to it. Nobody even knows what it is, and he's never had to do anything on it. Am I correct?
Yeah, as far as I know, and you have to appoint them every year. So
It actually is an important position, even though they're hardly ever used, like we're going to be appointing
Right,
council
so-
people tonight.
I know how to explain it. If somebody doesn't get appointed tonight, or if we don't do it within 30 days, the Vacancy Board appointee gets to appoint them. So if we don't come to a decision tonight or don't do it in 30 days, it falls on his lap. So with that being said, anybody else have anything else to say? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? 5 ayes. Reappointment to the General Authority, Craig Neely, with a new term expiring January 1st of 2023. Would somebody like to make the motion? Councilman Schubsta, seconded by Councilman Dufresne. Any questions or discussion? Councilman Anderson?
That is correct, a 5-year term? I'm just
Yes.
double checking here. Okay.
Yep, they're all, every one of them, there's 5.
Yeah, Mr. Neely was filling a vacated
Okay.
term before, so because I think it was just last year.
Right, I know it was
appointed
recent. Okay, thank you.
Anybody else with a comment, question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. 5 ayes. Reappointment to the Emmaus Public Library Board, Nancy O'Keefe and Jean Nagel.
You gotta do one at a time.
All right, so we'll do Nancy O'Keefe first with a new term expiring January 1st, 2021. Somebody like to make the motion? Councilwoman Baumgartner. Second by Councilman Dufresne. Questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 5 ayes. We have Jean Nagel with a new term expiring January 1st of 2021. Would somebody like to make the motion? Councilman Anders, seconded by Councilman Dufresne. Are you guys getting tired? You gotta try saying it all the time. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. There are 5 ayes.
This is more work than Chris has ever had to do.
Yeah, I was waiting for a lead, she did.
Sorry.
Budget and Finance. We have Resolution 2018-2, the bill list. Does anybody, let me read. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve the bill list? Councilman Shubsta, seconded by Councilman Dufresne. Pick the pace up, guys, let's go. Got a long night. Anybody have any questions on the bill list? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 5 ayes. We have we'll need a motion to approve JetPay HR and payroll services to approve an agreement with them. Would somebody like to make a motion?
We would ask that the motion, Mr. President, include that the borough manager and borough solicitor finalize the terms of the agreement.
With the addition of the finalizing by our solicitor.
Just so you're aware, there's an issue on page 6 and on page 7 of that agreement.
So contingent upon the solicitor handling those 2 issues. Would somebody like to make a motion? Councilman Shipsta, seconded by Councilman Dufresne. Questions or discussion? Councilman Dufresne.
Yeah, just some of this stuff here, from looking through it, again, I'm familiar with this process because we use this process where I work for JetPay. I don't believe the borough would utilize all of this. So this is, from what I can tell, we can pick and choose the modules here that we want. So just because they're listed here doesn't necessarily mean we're going to use those modules, correct? But if we do, this is the pricing.
Correct.
Okay.
Sorry, I would have emailed you earlier, but I think I ran out of space. But with the JetPay, didn't we have another company?
Based on what, your keyboard?
Yeah. Didn't we have another company we were comparing to?
We
and
did.
What was the
ADP.
difference?
First of all, there was a significant price difference.
Okay.
So we've been using JetPay for years for the payroll service. Never had any issues. They've delivered in snow, sleet, rain, on time. Foreclosed on Monday, we get it out to them on Tuesday, we have our paychecks on Wednesday. Like we know their level of service. So their level of service was a factor. They're a local company, they're right down the road in Bethlehem. And the price tag is much less.
Okay.
And in talking to another a VP of a company who uses the JetPay HR program, they're very happy with it. ADP is the Cadillac of companies.
Right.
There were a lot of positives about the ADP program as well. When you looked at the price tag between the two, they didn't offer that much more to justify that kind of price. So we feel very good about being able to take our HR stuff and automate it through JetPay to stop using the 1962 time clocks and automate those as well. And try to make that process more efficient so that it doesn't take a department manager 6 hours on Monday morning to do payroll. So we think that JetPay can do all of that.
Okay, that was my concern, was I knew we had some things we could streamline, and I wasn't sure that this could do it.
Yeah, our big two were JetPay and ADP, and we felt that the JetPay system more than meets our needs, to be honest.
Thank you.
Anybody else with comments?
And
Councilman
I would
Dufresne.
just say, Roy, that I would agree with what Shane said. It's like, this isn't a negative to JetPay, it's not, because they compete well. We don't need a Cadillac. What they have to offer, and what I've seen from my company, how they've come forward in the last year with their product, I think it's as much as what we need here. And the pricing that we've seen from other companies too, it's not close. It's good software.
Right.
That'll move us to where we need to be.
If we're saving it money and streamlining the process, then that's what we need to do, so, good, thank you.
We would go live, just so you know, we're looking at April 1st. This isn't something that we would be going live next week on, so it'd be about April 1st.
Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. There are 5 ayes. Community Relations Planning and Development Committee, we have a reappointment to the Shade Tree Commission. Everett Reds Bailey. New term expires January 1st of 2023. Would somebody like to make that motion? Councilman Anders, seconded by Councilman Shipsta. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. There are 5 ayes. So under boards and commissions, you have 2 sets of meeting minutes that you can read, which leads us to personal appeals part 2. If anyone has a personal appeal, please approach a podium, sign in, state your name, and you have 5 minutes for your appeal. Hearing none. Borough Manager's report.
The significant revenue and expense items for December are in your iPads. We're still rounding out the numbers from the end of 2017. It looks like we're pretty close to on target in all the budget areas. So I'm relieved to be able to report that we're going to carry over right around what we said we were going to. A lot of problems right now with frozen pipes, water lines. We've had, I think, 5 water leaks in the last week. So we have some issues with heat over at the police station. I keep telling them we're trying to save the gas bill, but we're paying for that dearly in the electric bill. Hopefully by tomorrow that's taken care of. We are going to be talking when the Gen Ag committee's formed. We need to replace that heating system. I mean, this is every year. We're spending $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 every year on a system that should have never been purchased in the first place. So we really need to deal with that because they've gone 2 weeks without heat in that building. It was 53 degrees in there the other day. So we need to deal with that. And I think outside of that, I'll report progress.
Thank you. That leads to President's Business, which leads us to our interview for candidates for council, which we have 14 of them. Just want to say a few things first before we go into this. I spent about an hour going through voter registration, street lists, and addresses for all the applicants. And I just want to give some statistics here. So there's 14 applicants. There's 6 districts in Emmaus. There's somebody from each district applying for the vacancy. We have 1 in District 1, 2 in District 2, 4 in District 3, 2 in District 4, 2 in District 5, and 2 in District 6, which is amazing because that represents the whole borough. We have, I believe, 5 females and 9 males, 0 Republicans, which as a Republican, I'm very disappointed, and it's 2 Republican seats. There's 11 Democrats, 2 non-affiliates, and 1 Libertarian applying for the vacancies. So I just thought that'd be interesting if everybody knew that. For me, depressing because there's no Republicans.
May I add something though?
Sure.
Our council has always, whether you're DNR, independent, has always worked together and
Always
strive
have.
to do what's best for the borough, and that's what I hope all of our applicants are here for, and the
I
main
think-
reason they're here.
With that being said, Roy, I think over the years, if you look at the votes, you couldn't tell. You couldn't say it one way or the other.
Agreed.
So the way we're going to do this, we're going to limit interviews to about 10 minutes unless some take longer, but hopefully the community room is open. We're going to ask that,
We do have 13 chairs lined up in the hallway if it's not.
we would like to ask that only the person being interviewed be here, but once you're interviewed, you may stay in the room so that nobody has an unfair advantage. We will interview according to alphabetical order. We have pre-formatted questions, so we have 4 questions that we will ask everybody, so it's the same 4 questions. And then we will open up questioning to council if they so choose to ask any. So with that being said, do we want to have an intermission, or are we good to go?
Well, so what I'll do is I'll sit in the back of the room and I'll go get them as you finish up. each
So why
interview.
don't we,
I'll go see if the community room is available.
we're going to see if the community room is available, which is right around the corner on the same floor here. It's a conference room. And then we'll ask anyone that's not being interviewed at the time. The first person is Christian Anderson.
Well, and if, just so you know, if you're not a candidate, it's a public interview, so you're more than welcome to stick around and watch this 2 hours of fun.
Are we gonna have him at the podium, or?
We'll put him at the podium.
You don't wanna have him?
No, we need the candidate to speak into the microphone.
We have a microphone.
Put him at the podium for 10 minutes.
The community room is available.
It is available.
Yeah, I opened the door for a
So we ask that all candidates that are here
All monitor.
to please go to the
Yeah, I'll send
conference
it back.
room, and we're gonna have Shane come get you as we are ready to interview you. You can do the math. If we do 10 minutes per 14, that's 140 minutes. That's, yes.
Well, you're,
And then we have to do the vote.
we'll stretch it out a little for you.
Yeah, we'll stretch it out. We'll take it to midnight.
Yeah, then you get overtime.
I found a calendar under my
Oh,
desk.
good. Hey, Shipsta,
Calendar.
I did have all 6. That's the next desk over. Then we have them all.
They're not gonna sit here like we had?
No.
No? Okay.
Shane doesn't want uncomfortable, so we keep it moving. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's actually good. You just keep your
That's
germs
my-
over there.
That's my thinking.
Just keep your germs over there.
Time for a chocolate. Chocolate?
Oh, no, thank you.
No, thank you.
Didn't wanna stick around. It was fun.
No, thank
I
you.
don't think I can taste
They're
it.
good. They're good.
I'm starting to write down on my phone.
Poor husband has to stick around. He must have.
You know, out of all the applicants, I only know 2.
Really?
Yeah, I only know 2.
I recognize some of the names.
What was that?
I know a couple names. Oh, no, I know 3.
So for this one, right, it says his term expires in 2024.
Yeah.
But in the letter, it said another 2 years.
Sometimes they don't.
Well, I'm wondering,
It's nice that enough people are interested. Makes your job difficult, but it makes
She
your
ran
job more
away 'cause she
difficult.
heard it was 2 hours.
It's nice that there's so many people that are interested.
She's gonna miss
Oh,
this
yeah.
whole thing. I'm gonna throw Roy over the top of the desk.
This is easier
That's why.
and cheaper.
That's,
Cause
yes.
he's a D and I'm
Who
an
wants
R.
paperwork?
if they're,
Yes.
they may
Yeah,
not
true.
realize the commitment, they might need to.
You don't have to go around and get petitions signed.
Nope.
No, I know, but he said for another 2 years.
Yeah, so he just, cause he's probably been on
It would be rude if I watched Billy shut
Oh, do you? You're gonna try it?
Yeah, we vote on it. I don't know if we vote, I don't know if the
No.
decision gets made.
When
Lisa, I
we-
don't talk when you
Yeah, we try, yeah.
No, that's good.
Do we just vote?
It is.
I mean, at the end, so we make a
Yes.
decision.
It is a lot.
I went through this process in
It is a lot.
2009 or something.
Cut the cord.
It's all
Now,
voted on.
did you ask the first 4 questions? You asked the first 4
Yes.
questions. Okay.
And then I have a couple follow-up, and then I'll open up.
So you're taking up the whole 10 minutes?
No. What time is
Would
it?
be about a 3.
8:03.
Don't worry, I'm a big fan of language efficiency.
I think we're missing a reporter.
Oh, where am I? Oh, here's. All right, Christian.
It's the school.
Welcome to Borough Council.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
So the first question is, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to be on council.
My name's Christian Anderson. I was born in New Tripoli. Then when I turned 20, I moved to the Virgin Islands, lived there like a pure libertarian society for almost a year, then moved to New Hampshire. My parents got divorced. My mother went to Connecticut. My father went to New Hampshire. So I bounced around between those two. I lived in Hartford, Connecticut, Concord, New Hampshire. Then, well, first I lived in Hartford, Connecticut, started attending Trinity College, transferred to Lehigh, and been bouncing around ever since. But I decided that Emmaus is my home now. I've been here for about 3 years, maybe 3.5. And I have a degree from Lehigh University, archaeology, and I was gonna be an architect, but 2008 happened. So I have architectural experience. I worked as a main point. Right now, I work at a restaurant, but these are my family. Kind of, not really, but the Thai restaurant down the street. And I used to be a conceptual estimator for big buildings at a firm in Philadelphia called Becker and Frondorf.
Okay. What do you believe are the top 3 challenges